Welcome everyone to the Electric Coaches channel. I have with me a very special guest. I have Michael Link from West Virginia. How's it going, Mike?
I'm doing good, Coach. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, doing great. Yo, you and I have been on Facebook, and we've been, exchanging ideas about bass tweaking, and we talked a little bit about, our approach to tweaking the bass and getting the most out of a bass. So you're here today to find out more about what bass tweaking is all about. Is that it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, we're gonna switch over to the field, and we're gonna talk a little bit about how to get started. Now, here right now I got my pliers warming on a coffee mug warmer, and I'm going to use this pair of pliers here to help us with our tweak. Now, we don't want to keep those pliers on there too much longer, but for the meantime, we'll let them sit there and warm. Then we go over to the field, and we're going to talk a little bit about Tudor's Pro Line rookie bass. These basses tend to offer a little more speed than their other basses. The Super Pro Line bass is a little different from this particular Pro Line because the cross section on the prongs are a little bit thicker. So, we're going to go back and forth, but primarily we're going to talk about how to go about tweaking a bass to get it to perform. And we're going to do that with these Pro Line basses right here, the Tudor Pro Lines. So, Mike, when you start off tweaking the bass, what's the first thing you do?
First I try to find, obviously the bass I want to use for that type of player. And then I get my pliers, warm them up on my candle warmer, and I start bending my bass a little bit.
Okay.
And run him on the board, see how it runs, with a little bit of tweaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much what a lot of guys around the hobby do.
Yeah.
I talked to one coach, Jim Davis, by the way, from Great Lakes Electric Football League.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim, he said that he starts with the figure first. He gets a figure after he customizes it, and then based on the figure will tell him the way that bass should go. That's the technique that one can use, but we're not going to get into that in this video. The way you just talked about is pretty much the most common way to start tweaking the bass. You take the bass you want and you bring it to the field and you run it, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually try to tweak it a little bit. I kind of look at the prong, see if the soft or hard, and then I tweak it with my hand a little bit and throw it on the board, see how it runs before I even really put my pliers on my prongs.
Right. Okay. And that's cool.
Yeah.
That's fine. Now, we're going to take that technique that you just talked about, and we're going to start with that. We're going to take the bass itself, and we're going to place the bass on the board. So let's switch back over to the game table, and we're going to look at this bass. And it's this bass right here. So we're going to move these other basses out of the way. We don't want them to interfere. So we're just going to just run the bass and see how it responds, how it reacts. Let's see what it does. You see the bass move backwards, didn't it?
Yeah.
No need to worry. That's a good thing right now, because I want you and all of America to see how this bass is going to improve once we apply our tweak technique to it. Let's watch it again. bass is moving backwards, right?
Yep.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get a get my glue here because I'm gonna get my my cardinal figure. This figure right here. It's my running back figure. Doesn't have a number yet. He doesn't have a name. We don't know who he's gonna be. And we're gonna mount this guy on to this base. Now, before I even use my pliers, I inspect the prongs, and guess what? I don't know if you can see it where you are, Mike. This is the rear of the base right here. You see the rear of the base? Can you see the prongs?
Yeah, they're pointing the opposite direction.
Yeah, they're pointing this way when they should be going that way. Okay, they should be going to your right, because this is the front of the base, and this is the rear of the base. See? Right where the hole is. This is mainly for the viewers outside of the hobby. You and I both know, Mike, where the front and the rear of the base is. So I want to first get these rear prongs to go back this way. Let me lay the base down for a moment. I want to grab one of my tools here, and we're going to talk a little bit about that too. More about tools and things, types of pliers to use. I'm going to bring in my needle nose pliers. Let's see, we're going to take my needle nose, and I got to get these prongs to face back the opposite way. And the way I do that, I grab the prongs with the pliers and I slightly curl them. See, I take my pliers from here and I turn them like that a little bit, see? All right. Now feel free to chime in anytime you want to.
Yeah.
All right. So now I'm getting these rear prongs. I'm aligning these prongs, by the way.
Yeah.
Giving them an alignment here. All right. So now, if we look at the prongs like this, now look at their position.
Yeah, they're getting better.
Can you see that?
Yeah, they look like they're straight down.
Okay. Now, from that little adjustment, let's put our base on the table and let's see what it does. Let me get my switcher. You see that?
Yeah, you got some progress going there.
Just that little adjustment that we did got the base to move forward a little bit, but we still got a long way to go. We got a long way to go. In fact, this video we're doing, it might be a 2-part video. So we'll do some today, and I can catch up to you next time, and we'll do some more another time, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but no, we're not going to stop here, though, because we got time. But we saw how the base moved just a little bit by making that small adjustment. So let's back our camera up a little bit. All right. So we're going to go to the front, and I'm going to do the same thing to the front. Now, we want the front of the prongs here. You see where the hole is, right?
Right.
We want those prongs to sweep back toward the opposite end of the base. So we want those prongs to have all the prongs in the base. If you look at my pliers, they're straight up, right?
Right.
We want the prongs to sit like this, in that kind of configuration, from front to back. This part, the tip of the pliers here, look at that as the prongs, the tip prongs, the tips of the prongs on the board. And this part of the plier up here is the part that's up in the frame of the base. We want those prongs to sit back like that. So I'm gonna take my pliers again, my needle nose pliers. Mike, do you have a pair of needle nose pliers?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. So yeah. So you take your needle nose pliers and we curl those prongs slightly, or however much it takes to get these prongs to sweep back toward the rear of the base. Now we don't want to crease the prong because that'll make the base collapse. You don't want that. We want a smooth curl on these prongs. And it's going to be a little harder to get the prongs in the rear of the base to swing back, because if you look at the rear of the base itself, there's the shell of the base right here. There's a wall right there that stops the prongs from laying down. But later, as we get more into this base, we're going to get these prongs in the proper and in the best configuration possible. So we're going to set our base down again. We did some more alignment work on the front of the prongs. Going to zoom in. Run the base some more. See that?
Yeah.
Running a little bit better.
Yeah, it does look good.
See? So, the message I convey to anybody who's tweaking is go slow and watch your base develop. See? And by doing that, it's easier to figure out what the base needs. You know, people, when they first learn how to tweak, Mike, they're in such a hurry to get their bass to perform right now that they end up ruining the bass. See? Go slow.
Yeah, I've done that.
And just focus on handling the prongs. Even before you put heat on your bass, just handle the prongs. You see? Let me run it again real quick. We got forward movement. The bass is running smoother now.
Yeah.
See? Okay. Let's move to something else. We're gonna put down our needle nose pliers for right now. And we still have our pliers warming on the coffee mug warmer. And I'm gonna take them off for right now, because we don't want to get these too hot. We're gonna let them cool a little bit. Just want them warm. I'm gonna set them right there. Let them warm up a bit.
Yeah, that's good to know there.
Yeah,
because I've ruined bases by taking it off straight off the heat, just thinking you can barely touch it.
Right.
And that's plastic.
Okay, so I got my Zeron pliers. You have a pair of these pliers here, Mike?
I don't have any Zerons. Something close to it. I have some duckbills.
Yeah.
Like you've used in previous videos, and then I have
these
jewelry pliers.
Yeah, these pliers right here. These Zeron pliers right here. They are really good for tweaking the individual prongs in the bass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like our bass, it has a total of 8 prongs. And these Zeron pliers, similar to the needle nose pliers, you can get the pliers on each prong individually to fine tune it. And we're going to use those momentarily, but not right now.
Okay.
So we're going to set our Zeron pliers over here. We're not going to put those on the coffee mug warmer, although you can, but we're not. We're going to just put those away for right now. And we're going to get our flat duckbill pliers. I'm going to set these over here. So forgive me for a moment, because I have to make adjustments with my tools here. I got to switch from tool to tool.
Okay.
And we want to get our flat duckbill pliers. And we want to start grabbing our prongs. Okay?
You're grabbing 2 with those, right?
Yeah, I grabbed it. With these pliers here, I grab both prongs at the same time. As you can see right here, see?
Yeah.
You see here? Grab the prongs, both prongs at the same time. All right? Now, you can grab one prong if you want to. But because of the cross section, the thickness of these pliers, it's enough to cover two prongs.
Right.
And before I go into flattening these prongs, I want to talk about how the pressure is applied between the jaws of these pliers. Most of your pressure is right here in the middle of the jaw. Okay? So when you grab those two prongs, you want to make sure that you bite down so that that pressure will be on the outside edge of the jaws of the pliers, all right? So I like to start in the back of the base, in the rear, because that's where most of your power is going to be at. So I take my pliers, I lay them down straight on the prongs, and you want to make sure that you're not twisting the prong as you're squeezing. You see how my hand is going like this?
Right.
You know, people have a tendency to twist like this, and they cause the prong to twist left and twist right, and that could cause the base to run erratically. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So let's go ahead and flatten these rear prongs first. So I have my prongs inside the pliers, and I smash down. Okay. Now, what you don't want to do, you don't want to go all the way into the base like that. You see how far I'm in?
Yeah.
You don't want to go all the way in there. You want to go maybe like halfway up the prong. Can you see inside there?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Now, I've smashed down already. How clear is that to you?
Yeah, I can see it pretty clear.
Okay. Now, when I did this,
I can see them spread out a little bit.
it smashed down here to the middle of the prong. I want to come down some more and smash again. See? Because you want the entire length of the prong to be flattened all the way down to the tips. All right? Okay? And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. All right, we're going to set that down for a moment. We're not going to run it yet. All right. You still with me, right, Mike?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to go to the other side, and we're going to do the same thing. Now, if you go ahead.
You just do you don't do all four one time, you just always do the back first?
I start with the back first, and I run test the base.
Mm-hmm.
With each tweak that I do, I test the base first.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I can monitor the progress of the base.
Yeah.
It's easy to monitor. Now, mind you, once you start flattening these prongs, when you bring the heat to these prongs, the heat can cause this plastic to shrink. All right? When you smash these prongs, they shrink a little bit anyway. All right?
Okay.
So now, make sure I got, okay, this prong right here, if you look right here, Mike,
Mm-hmm.
this prong right here looks a little different than the prong next to it right here. But that's okay. So now we're going to run this base real quick. Zoom in a little bit. As a matter of fact, back it up some. All right. Got a little bit of mobility out of it, but we still got to do the front. Now, if these rear prongs get swept back too much, that could cause drag on the bass, because the face of the prong right here on the inside, it can drag on the board. So you may have to take your finger and move the prong up a little bit.
Take some of the curve out of it.
Yeah, take some of the curve out of it. Just like this a little bit, see? So this is why I say go slow. There's no need to rush. Run the bass. It's still choppy because we haven't hit the front prongs yet. But what we're doing here, we're basically just doing preliminary tweaking. All right? So let's take a break right here, and we're going to do a system check to make sure everything is going well. And we'll be right back.